Bon matin tout le monde. I'm kidding. It is not morning. It is maybe 7 p.m. Just finished eating supper. Finished training today. We had a hefty training session today. We're preparing for playoffs next week. So, if you don't know, we played Toronto last week. I tried filming some clips for you guys. Let me show you how well that went down. Happy game day! So we played Toronto today, by the way. I don't have a room just for myself. Noemi is doing some gym work in the morning. I'm getting ready, but we played Toronto today. This is the last game of the regular season before we start playoffs. So I'm gonna see how long or how much I can take you along with me. But anytime it's a game day, I kind of like to focus, so don't get mad at me, please. Come on, stop getting mad at me. Stop. But yeah, we have breakfast, and then we have meeting, and then we just leave for the stadium. So yeah, chilling, slept well, I feel good. Let's do it. So yeah, not great. Yeah, I'll get better at it. I also love just being in the moment. So that's been kind of what I've been dealing with lately, but I decided I wanted to kind of create a little new series. I'm not sure if you've seen some of my other videos about it. I've made one video about confidence so far. I made another video about bouncing back from a hard game or a hard day, hard practice. And those two videos, and this one right now too, is gonna be part of my new mini series that I'm creating called Pro Tips. So this is for anyone wanting to actually see the inside of a pro athlete's mind and how they can also apply it to their regular day lives. Because I know that I'm not speaking to pro athletes 100% of the time when I'm speaking to you through my channel. I know there's a lot of people who go through different pressured moments. Pressurized? Different moments of pressure in their day-to-day lives, and I think they could also benefit a little bit from some of these things that we go through as pro athletes. I'm not trying to be a coach or anything. Also, my last pro tips video, someone said that this couch could be the coaching couch, which maybe I do some of my pro tips on this couch here, but I'm figuring it all out. I don't have all the answers. I'm trying to kind of like show you how I've been going through it and what has helped for me, because I'm still learning through this whole game as well. And this little game we call life. So this series called Pro Tips, it's basically where I have a real sit down talk with you guys. It doesn't have to be sit down, I can stand up sometimes. Okay, next. It's basically real talk videos where I share things I've learned as a professional athlete. Habits, mindset, tricks, tips, and these help whether you're an athlete, a footballer, or just someone trying to perform under pressure. So we've got big games coming up. I kind of want to talk about a little bit the pressure of big moments. Why not? Let's dive right in. But first, I kind of want to shed a bit of light on how it works in the Northern Super League. So, as you guys know, the Northern Super League is Canada's first ever professional women's football league. So this is going to be the first ever playoffs in the history of the league. All right, cool. In the NSL, there are 6 teams. We all play a regular season, so each team plays 25 games. You play each team 5 times. At the end of the regular season, the top 4 in the standings make it to playoffs. So Montréal Roses was in the top 4. So the semifinals is in a week from today, and how it basically works, it's a 2-leg series, home and away, and the higher seeded team hosts the second leg. So in our case, Toronto is a higher seeded team, so we're playing in Toronto in 2 weeks. In 1 week, we're playing here in Montreal at home. So the winners of those semis advance to the finals. And it works based off of aggregate score. Aggregate means basically like the total number of goals wins, right? That's what aggregate means. So like, let's say if we win 2-1 versus Toronto the first game, but then the second game, they win 1-0. That means it'll be 2-2 and we will have to go into penalty shootouts. So the final is on November 15th in Toronto. Regardless, it's in BMO Stadium, and that's where you decide if you win the whole thing or if you lose the whole thing. This also matters for mindset reasons because look, the 2-leg series is interesting. Like, just because you have like a poorer game doesn't mean it's over, because you can win the second game by like 5-0 and then go in. And vice versa. Just because you win the first game, it doesn't mean the second game you're gonna automatically clinch something. And also what's cool is that the final is just one game, one final game. So that's gonna be technically a high pressure moment. But I think I said this in the interview I did last game. Pressure makes diamonds. I think big moments require big players needing to step up. So anyways, just wanted to give you a quick background of what this playoff structure is like. Let's talk a little bit about pressure. Pressure, I think, affects a lot of people differently. And what I'm gonna say about pressure is that some people feel it in their chest, some people feel it in their shoulders, some people feel it in their breath, you know? So there's so many ways that people feel pressure. I think we all hear of the quote, pressure is a privilege, which is true, because I feel like moments like these, where you actually have to have something on the line, brings out a different kind of beast, I think. Does that make sense? Like, it brings out a different type of persona, because you see truly how players can react under pressure. You know when you watch like the World Cup and it's the final and every single person in the world is watching it? Yeah, like imagine how they feel. Some of them are probably shivering in their boots and some of them are ice cold. Also, it comes with time. Like, obviously when you've had so many big pressure moments, your body kind of gets used to it, but in a way, you gotta help yourself get used to it. And I'm gonna explain how I deal with pressure. I think the first step in kind of playing well under pressure, at least, is to recognize what pressure feels like to you. So for me, when I feel a little bit of pressure, or if I'm feeling a bit nervous for the games, my breath gets a bit more shallow, a bit more narrow. And I know something that I could do to help it is just to be more conscious of my breath. For you, let's say your shoulders get tense. The first step is to actually recognize that your shoulders get tense before games, for example, and then see how you could relax them, you know? Like I said, I'm no coach, but I've played with players that don't even know what stress means, don't even know what pressure means. And I've been with players that panic, cry, and throw up before games because they get so nervous. So it's all how you shape it in your mind. But the first step, I think, is to notice, okay, where am I feeling this in my body? Because honestly, it might not even be your body solely that you feel it in, it could be your mind. So I know a lot of players sometimes that I've spoken to, they feel negative thoughts before the game. Like, oh my gosh, like there's so many people, what if I mess up? Oh my gosh, my mistakes are gonna be on TV. Oh my gosh, like it becomes a very negative cycle. And that's also something that you have to be aware of. So the first step, I feel like this is like an anonymous addiction meeting. The first step is to be aware. All right, so there are some games, and I feel like for me, when I haven't played football in a while, obviously I get jitters. The brain doesn't know whether it's excitement or if it's anxiousness or if it's nervousness, because those physiological cues are the same regardless if you're anxious, nervous, or excited. Think about it. When you're anxious, like I said, maybe your heart rate goes a bit faster. Maybe you start to feel a little tingly, maybe a little jittery. Same thing happens when you feel excited. Your heart rate increases, maybe you start to feel a little tingly, start to feel a little jittery. So that first step of reframing kind of what you're feeling is a very important step. Because let's say I'm a nervous athlete and before a game, I'm feeling a lot of pressure. My shoulders are feeling super tense. I'm feeling like my breaths are really shallow. I could say, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. Oh my God, like what am I gonna do, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you can put yourself in that position. Good luck getting out of it though, because once you start thinking that, it's gonna be so easy to go into that snowball effect of it turning into your whole game. You can say something like, yeah, my shoulders are tense, recognize it. Yeah, my breathing is a bit shallow. Okay, how can I kind of reframe it that, okay, I am feeling a bit excited. Maybe I'm anxious, maybe I'm excited, I don't know, but I'm gonna choose for it to be excitement. So kind of reframing that thought and that emotion into like accepting that you feel these things and turning it into a different framework. So it could be something simple as like maybe you're giving your first presentation at a big job, or you have a big job interview coming up. Okay, it's normal for you to feel these things because number one, you care, and number two, you want it to go well. So you feel these things, but if you reframe that simple reframe of saying like, okay, I'm feeling these things. This could be anxiousness, but I think it could also be excitement. And then that gives your brain at least a little bit of a break into spiraling into thinking it's something else. But I want to give you this pro tip, okay? This one pro tip that took me so long, way too long to understand. Way too long, okay? I wish I got this earlier because it honestly changed my life when I actually started to think in this way or feel in this way. You'll see. So when you play a sport, you put so much energy, time, commitment, effort, sweat, tears, all this into your sport. The goal, yes, is to train hard, but more importantly, you train hard so the games become easy. When it comes to game day, no need to not trust your process. And what I mean by that is when you decide that the game doesn't require more effort, it requires more trust, then your game will change. Trust me. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, oh, of course I need effort. If I want to sprint back and recover a ball, I'm gonna need effort to sprint. I'm not saying to not put effort in your game or your sprint. I'm just saying more effort doesn't necessarily equate to a better performance. And what I mean by that specifically is that sometimes when you try too hard, the game doesn't flow. Sometimes when you try too hard, that means you're thinking too hard and you're not relying on your instincts to play. When I realized that you have to rely on instincts to play, you gotta rely on joy to play, you gotta rely on creativity, you gotta rely on having fun, that's when the so-and-so pressure decreases. The thing is, I'm not sure if pressure will ever go away. I think once you stop feeling the pressure and stop caring about the sport, like that's when it's maybe of a sign to hang up the boots. Because if you're going to a game not feeling nervous or not feeling excited or not feeling anything, just wanting to get it over with or something, or not wanting to make mistakes, I feel like that is not the best sign, because obviously you should feel a little bit of quote unquote nervousness or anxiousness or excitement. Those three things all coincide physiologically. You should feel those bodily reactions because you care about the sport, okay? So going into playoffs, sure, there might be more pressure. I think at the end of the day, what has helped me so much, okay, is trusting myself. And that comes to the basis of confidence. The most confident players trust themselves, trust their teammates, and trust the coaching staff. I think at the end of the day, and listen to this, I think at the end of the day, once you can fully understand the capability of trusting yourself, trusting the process, and trusting all the hard work you've put in, you can have peace of mind that you'll have a great performance. And it's as simple as that. Not saying that there won't be any other factors that will affect this, but you're already putting yourself in the best spot. And you might be thinking like, well, how do I trust myself? Great question. Great question. Well, when extra effort becomes overthinking or tensing, it changes how you move. It slows you. But what trust does, it lets your body do the work. Trust lets your body work the way it knows how to. It gives your instinct permission to lead, okay? And it relaxes your mind so your body just flows. Your body just does. There's a lot of books about flow state. One of the big takeaways into getting into flow state is trust. Trusting your work, trusting your process. And then on game day, simply letting go. And all of this is just a lot easier said than done, but here's a couple of things that I do that can maybe help you. On game day, I like to focus on my breath. Think maybe, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I meditate a lot. On game day, I like to focus on my breath. So before the national anthem or in the tunnel, I like just feeling an inhale and an exhale and dropping my shoulders and being like, wow, I get to be here today. This is cool. I'm grateful. And I think gratitude also plays a big part in trusting yourself. I like to keep simple phrases in the forefront of my mind, like play free, be like water. I know this sounds spiritual and voodoo, but trust me, your brain and your mind are so important in the achievement of your goals. So the more you
can put positive thoughts in your brain, the more you can put a focus on just playing, enjoying the moment, be a kid again. Stuff like that. It reframes how you go about your day. I think something else that helps me is being process focused. So instead of thinking, oh my God, I must win this game, or I must play well, or like I can't lose this game. No, I think, what do I do next? I think, what is the next task? I think small. I think I narrow my focus, like check my shoulder, great. Open my body, great. Get hard on my tackles, great. It's being present, but also finding a way to maneuver the next action. Because you know, once you do something in a game, you can't undo it. And there's peace in that as well. If you mess up a pass sometimes, it's gone. How quickly can you refocus? I remember growing up, I was reading a lot of self-help books, a lot. And that's all I read right now. But I was reading this one book, I honestly don't really remember what it was called. It was talking about how to get rid of negative thoughts in a game, specifically a football game. And it was like, visualize in big, a red stop sign, like an octagon, bright red, and it says stop in the middle. And that forces your brain to kind of think of something else other than the thought that you're thinking. And that just shows how easy it is to take a breath, pause, and think of something else. Instead of a big stop sign, you could think of another positive thought. Instead of why'd I mess that up, think I got the next one. Because in practice, I've got the next one, and this is no different than a practice. So with pressure, I think comes great opportunity. And going into these 2 playoff games right now, I'm feeling great because I think we're ready as a team. But I also think it's interesting to see how we can weather the storm and make sure that we're staying on task. If you can take away one thing from this video, it would be to trust yourself. And how does one do that? You pay attention to your body. You give yourself gentle reminders of, I can do this, I can play free, I can dominate today. The more you feed yourself with positivity, the more your brain's gonna look for it. But I think in terms of dealing with pressure, it's all about trust. And I think that is one of the main takeaways. If you truly trust in your training, then it's just gonna show on the field. If you trust that you can play well, if you trust in your teammates, if you trust yourself, most importantly, there's nothing you won't be able to do. Because in a game like football, in a game like life, you are the main character. So treat yourself as one. And this ties into the message that I have for my future kids. If you are the main character in your life, make sure that you feed it good thoughts. It's not like we have a spare brain in the closet. Same with like our bodies. It's not like we have a spare body in the closet. Feed it with healthy foods, feed it with healthy thoughts, feed it with a healthy mind. Your mind is everything. And I'm not saying that you will never feel pressure. Pressure is a privilege. Pressure seriously is a privilege. And I love saying this quote, pressure makes diamonds, or it can also make coal, depending on how you use it. You can use pressure to make diamonds, or you can use pressure to make coal, or olive oil, or, you know, like you choose how you reword pressure, how you rework it in your mind. So, message to my future kids, feed your mind with positive thoughts, because it's easy to hold on to negative ones, trust me. But if you can slow down, recognize what's going on in your body and your mind, and decide to reframe it into something else, into something positive, a simple thing of saying, I'm excited, instead of I'm freaking out, that can go a long way. But I'm excited to see our journey in the playoffs, and I'm excited to take you along with me some. So thank you for your patience, and I hope you guys like this new little series. I like making these videos because it reminds me of things I wish I knew growing up, or things that honestly they help me making these videos too, because it helps me as a reminder, like, true, next week I'm gonna go in and just trust myself and have fun, because at the end of the day, life is a game and you're meant to have fun with it. So, but thank you so much for following along. I'll see everybody in the next video. Au revoir.